Okay. So, hello, Codruța. It's good to see you again. We know each other, but just in case anyone watches this video, my name is Ioana. So, I'm a researcher in AI. I'm mainly focused on targeting and detecting disinformation. So, the reason of this meeting is very clear. It's the system that I've built to learn from you who are an expert in disinformation. So the whole idea is that the system that we create can adapt to journalists and to media specialists. Um, Codruța, if you'd like to introduce yourself in one or two sentences, tell us your connection to disinformation. Great. So let me share my screen and I will firstly show you uh, the system. So one thing that I would like to tell you, like the big picture. So in this session, we will do like it will have three parts. Uh, the first part is this part right here. So what the system did is that it found some text, gave it a label as disinformation or not disinformation, but it's unsure. So the system is not completely sure about what it did. So here the system asks for your help and you need to help the system. The second part is this part, which is called the manual input. So if we imagine that you would use the system, for example, for your organization, you want to test it first. So you want to test the capabilities of the system. You put some text and see if the system is able to see if this is disinformation or not. But I will show you practically, just a moment. And the last part is just some questions, like general questions, things like that, just the review part. So I will start with the first part, which is where the system asks for your help, right? So here I'll just move this part down. This is the first element, right? Trump says Crimea will stay with Russia as he seeks end to war in Ukraine. Now, I would ask you to think out loud. For example, if I was a journalist, I would say, okay, so this is yes, but in the following way. So this is the statement, and the system predicted the label disinformation because it is part of the narrative Crimea will remain under Russian control. So this is why our system predicted it as disinformation. Now, if I'm the journalist, I will say, okay, so the system predicted this as disinformation because it's part of this narrative, but this is wrong. So this statement is actually true. I want to see the internal structure. So the internal structure here tells me that this is the narrative because it has internally these two fake statements. The system is wrong because this is not the narrative. The narrative on these two fake statements, it might be that Pompeo, Pompeo said that Crimea will remain under Russian control. So this is the actual narrative, but the system failed, okay? And we can correct it. Or we can look into the bigger structure because this is narratives in narratives. So narratives. And we just decide that, you know what, this system is wrong because this particular narrative is not a disinformation narrative. This is true. And we just delete it. So this is not a disinformation narrative, we delete it. Or I can say, this system predicted it as disinformation. Well, this is correct. And I just press this. the element is correct, no change needed. Or the internal structure doesn't really make sense, it's just gibberish, and I would just mark it as true without any correction. Does that make sense? So I will recap a bit. So what you can do in case of a system prediction is to look at it and correct the narrative. So it is disinformation, but it's not part of this narrative. Remove the narrative because it's not a disinformation narrative. Mark it as true or false depending on the prediction, or confirm that this is correct. So the system was unsure, but it did well. I can send you the link and you can enter the link. Just please share your screen with me so I can stop. Okay, I put the link here in the chat. And just think out loud. At any point, I can help you. And can you please share the screen so I can? Oh, okay. I think it's from Google. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, let's take a couple of minutes, like 1 or 2 minutes, see if we can manage it. If not, I would just share my screen and you guide me on what to click. And not a problem. Sure, no problem. If it doesn't work the second time, I just share my screen and we continue on my device. It's not a problem. Yeah, just click show my screen anyway, and here is the link. Yeah, there is. Okay, and we can go on the first one. Okay, then let's click see internal structure in the left part. Okay, so we can just delete this Crimea. Yeah, okay, let's delete them. And also delete that one, right? We can delete Crimea will remain under Russian control, or this is disinformation also. Then we can just click edit in that part. Yeah, yeah. And say Crimea is right to Russia. Enter. Okay. And now we can just go to the next element. Yeah, it's taking a little to think. No, so here what happens is that in this case, the system did not find any disinformation narratives close to this. And so it predicted the label true. And we can just keep it like that. This element is correct, no change needed. Okay. And we go to the next one. Okay. Yes, yes. But for these elements which are above, can we just click this element is correct, no change needed? The button. Yeah, that one. Okay. This is like the next one now. No, you click right. It's the UI which is not very good. Here is the next element, like a bit. There are no anti-West. Then we just click mark item as fake and move on. And okay, let's mark it as fake then. Sure, no problem. You are the expert here. My system is just trying to learn from you. So this is predicted. Okay, no worries. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. So when you click it, the element is correct, no change. It just moves to the next one. Yes. Yes. So this was marked as disinformation because it's part of this narrative. The EU undermines democracy and engages in oppressive actions. Yeah, it just scans the internet and tries to find what seems to be disinformation. So basically, this is why it needs to learn from you. So let's say that you would use this and it would just bring you all these elements. Look, this is the disinformation that I found. Is it okay that I label it disinformation or not? Mhm. No, no, don't delete those. Those are the disinformation narratives, right? The internal structure. But if it's linking incorrectly, just mark it as true. So this is like the internal structure that it builds. So this is how, but if just the link is wrong, then you just mark it as true. Sure. Relief Web. It's a good name. Yeah. Okay. Just mark it as true. And we move to the next one. Yes. Good. We can move to the next one. Oh, it's not responding anymore. Okay. Okay. Let me check. So the server behind it's working, so it's okay. Uh, and just let me check if everything is working according to the plan. Um, yeah, it's does not seems to be. Try to click it there. Yeah, and now with the mouse. Is it working now? No, still not working. Okay. If you refresh the page, and now can you scroll? No. Ah. Okay. Then it's the perfect time to try the second part. I think we are also just in time. Let's see. Can you click on manual input? Yeah. So let's do an example first. So this manual input, it's let's say that this is a very expensive. a system that crawls the internet and checks everything, and you need to test it before your organization buying it. Okay. And now you want to put some cases to see how it behaves. Yes, and let's start with the demo case. So let's put the EU is forcing people to eat insects, and just click analyze. Can you go up? Can you move like to go up? Yeah. Can, okay. Yeah, no worries. Let's see if it works here. Yeah, it works on my computer. You will just tell me like what you want to input and I will input. Okay. Oh, it's moving. Okay. D- Don't mark it as true. Don't mark it. It's marked as disinformation. I need to change the label. Yeah. Yeah. So at this part, where is the manual input, I don't have in place a mechanism to tell the system. It's just for testing. But thank you for, yes, yes. But thank you for the observation for the next session. I will. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So it predicts as true because it found no strong matches in either trees. So it did not find any disinformation narratives that this could be part of. So this is a system which, so what it does, it takes all this information and groups it into bigger teams and see if its name is part of a team. So it maybe would not detect something like uh, the France president has a t-shirt red, so it would not know to check that, but it would find like this: the EU is forcing people to eat insects. So something that is part of a bigger narrative which keeps. Yes, please. I will check it. Yes. Don't mark it as true. Do you feel comfortable with the claims you tested to understand the capabilities of the system, or do you need more time? Yeah, these were exactly my following questions, which I think you mentioned them. Like, what is the most useful thing, and what's the biggest limitation? I think. Mhm. So a system which um, so a good extension of the system would be to extend it, like to anticipate what kind of fake news would come in relation to real events, catastrophic. Mhm. Okay, that's very interesting. So this is something that we also want to do, like to be able to add. So whenever you, for example, this earthquake in Venezuela made with harp, now that you mark it as false, it's added into the narratives, and now a new narrative. So anytime this algorithm right now will encounter something similar or from the same narrative, now yeah, because you added it into the system. So my last question for you, um, is on a scale of 1 to 5, how much would you trust such a system? Yes, in the current situation. That's very good. Yeah, I think these are my questions. I also have like a Google Forms with 10 questions after it. But thanks a lot for joining and helping with this. If you have any other, yeah, yeah, we need adapting algorithms and everything. But right now, what we are trying to do is to make it public, to make it available for everyone to be able to develop on top of it. So to adapt it, to make the technology wide, open source, to make the technology open source and publish on it. Thank you. Thank you, Codruța. Thanks a lot. And yeah, see you next time.